Hi everyone, thanks for being with me. Tony Tonkin here on my show. So glad that you could join me to have this conversation about something that's purely South Australian, I hasten to add, but which is something which I think is kind of becoming a major issue around Australia, and that is where public servants and others who are being requested to receive vaccinations are choosing not to do so. And what does this mean? And I came across an article today in the South Australian Advertiser which talked about the police force here in this state choosing not to get vaccinated. So there was about 300 police. We don't have a massive police force like they do in other countries and other states around the world, but we do have one regardless. And that there are a number of people, for varying reasons, I guess, choosing not to be vaccinated. So the question really is, what does that mean to us? Does that mean that we're going to be less safe because there's going to be fewer police on the streets, or exactly why are people choosing not to be vaccinated? A question which I find rather amusing, to say the least, because I wonder, well, why would you make a decision not to have a jab? What's the big deal? But clearly for some people it is. So what is the implication of all of this? So here in South Australia, up to 300 SA police personnel have been forced to take leave because they refuse to be vaccinated for COVID-19. The immediate effect of the loss of the individual on the workforce, both sworn and unsworn employees, is unlikely to be clear for days, but the situation is being monitored closely by senior officers, and I guess to some extent must be of some concern to them. Notwithstanding that, not being able to deploy these officers will have an impact, but we will ensure we maintain service delivery. And of course, service delivery must be diminished somewhat if some 300 members of the police force are no longer able to do their job because they're on leave. But they do have a certain period of time while they're on leave to make a decision about whether they wish to remain in the police force or not. The direction was issued by Mr. Stephen. All right. The unvaccinated officers have been directed to take leave initially, but once that is expended, they are likely to be placed on leave without pay until their individual circumstances are resolved. I guess what they mean by their individual circumstances is that they will be required to make a decision about what it is they wish to do, and if they wish to continue working for the police force at all, then clearly at that end of that period they will have to make that decision and either get vaccinated or not, and consequently if they choose not to, they will be required to leave. It mandates that all police and public servant employed by SAPOL must be either partially or fully vaccinated to either perform police functions or enter police buildings. They won't even come into work. The direction brought SA Police into line with every other national policing jurisdiction. He goes on to say, while figures indicate up to 200 officers were declining to be vaccinated, the number was expected to decrease as individual realised that their employment might be in jeopardy. So at one point it probably seemed like a good idea, but then some of them thought, well, bugger it, we're going to lose my job. I don't want that to happen because that means I can't pay my rent, can't pay my mortgage, whatever, and therefore I will still need my job, so why not get the vaccination? About 100 non-sworn SAPOL employees have indicated they will not comply with the direction, but it's anticipated that number will also decrease. There are about 1,400 non-sworn staff in key positions such as administration, operating speed cameras, forensic and crime scene areas, and working as protective service officers. Circular to all PSA members on November the 4th, the Public Service Association advised members of the vaccination direction given by Mr. Stevens. The PSA recognises the importance of vaccination as part of the public health response to the COVID-19 pandemic in protecting the health and safety of our members and the wider community. So, well done, SA Police. I hope something comes of this that has great benefit, and I can't understand why people have chosen not to be vaccinated. It still remains as a mystery to me. And why would you put? I just don't understand why you'd put your job, your work, everything that you believe in at risk for having a conscientious objection about a vaccination which clearly is going to help you, the community, people that you live with, your loved ones, and so forth. I don't get it, but there again, I'm not them. So hopefully you'll go off, get your vaccination, go back to work. Everybody will be happy. Nothing will be lost. You certainly won't lose your job, and you can get on with life, as we all will once we're through this pandemic. So hopefully they'll be able to work it out. Catch you later, guys.